All right, we are on the record, Madam Reporter?
Yep.
Okay, thank you. This is Douglas R. Stevens speaking. It is approximately 11:13 a.m. on March 16th, 2015. The location is 8630 Fenton Street, Suite 1106. Law offices of Greenspan, Hitzel, and Schrader. Thank you. The caption of the case is Mojisola Temitope Lateef versus Derek Linwood Howard et al. Case number CAL 1501437, Circuit Court of Maryland for Prince George's County. Present in the room is Defense Counsel Alex Grant, myself, Madam Reporter, and the deponent, Mr. Dan Wallace Stafford. I will assume that no one in the room requests or requires on-camera identification unless someone speaks up. You wanted to say something?
Yeah, I just want to put an objection on the record to the videotape, because I think it requires a professional to do the videotaping, and also it has to be done in a certain way with certain lighting and that type of thing. And to that extent, I'll just put an objection on the record, and then we can go forward.
All right, Madam Reporter, would you please swear the witness?
Raise your right hand, sir. Do you solemnly swear or affirm, under the penalties of perjury, that the responses given and statements made will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Good morning, sir. Thank you for coming.
Good morning. Thank you.
Would you mind stating your full name for the record?
Dan Wallace Stafford.
And your address?
5400 85th Avenue, apartment 204, New Carrollton, Maryland, 20784.
Were you personally served with a subpoena requiring your attendance here today?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Could you please tell me a little bit about your background?
I was born and raised in Washington, D.C. I attended public schools there. I was in the military for 3 years. I'm a graduate of the University of the District of Columbia. I worked as a federal contractor for 20 years, and now I'm a federal employee with the Department of Defense.
Okay. So all of your schooling was in Washington, D.C.?
Yes.
Where did you go to elementary school?
River Terrace.
And how about after that?
After that, I attended a private school, the Campus Academy, for 2 years, and then I went to Hamilton Junior High School for 1 year. Then I attended Dunbar. Then I went into the military for 3 years, and then when I got out of the military, I attended the University of the District of Columbia.
Do you have any degrees?
Yes, I have an associate's degree and a bachelor's degree.
What's your associate degree in?
Paralegal studies.
And what's your bachelor's?
Political science.
And what branch of the military were you in?
The Army.
Okay. And what year were you born?
1958.
Okay. I appreciate you telling me that. Directing your attention to November 26, 2014, on or about that date, were you a witness to an automobile collision on Pensy Drive near 75th Avenue?
Yes, I was.
Were the people involved in that collision strangers to you?
Yes.
All right. Could you tell us what you observed?
Okay, I was driving on Pensy Drive. I was headed towards 410. As I was about to come around the curve, I was in the left lane. I observed a truck hitting a car in the right lane head on, causing that car to swerve back into my car, hitting my car on the right side, and then the car spun out and ended up behind me.
Did you subsequently observe that a lady had been driving one vehicle and a man had been driving the other?
Well, at the time, I couldn't tell when the impact occurred. I didn't know whether there was a lady in the car or there was a man in the car. I didn't realize that until after the accident.
What were describe the vehicles. What were they? Do you know?
I think the lady was driving a small, like a compact green car, and the truck was a flatbed tow truck.
And which vehicle was one of the vehicles pointed in your direction prior to impact?
Yeah,
no, trucks. I'm sorry. Yeah, please describe the direction the vehicles were going when you saw them.
Okay, the car was in the right lane, and he was headed in the correct direction, the right direction. The truck was facing traffic, oncoming traffic.
Which vehicle, if either, was heading in the same direction as you prior to impact?
The car was heading in the same direction that I was in.
All right. And how many lanes were there in your direction?
2.
And which of those lanes was the car in?
The car was in the right lane.
Okay, and which of those lanes were you in?
I was in the left lane.
And which lane did the collision occur in?
In the right lane.
And where was the truck facing at the moment of impact?
It was facing traffic, oncoming traffic, in the opposite direction. It was facing oncoming traffic.
Does that mean it was heading towards you?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it was heading towards me, yes.
Did you say this was a head-on collision?
Yes, it was.
All right. I know that most people know what that means, but could you describe that for me? Which part of which vehicle hit the other?
Okay. The front end of the truck hit the front end of the car.
Showing what I pre-marked as Stafford Exhibit 1. I showed you that before the deposition started. Does that show the approximate damage that was caused by the collision?
Yes.
Is that the car?
That's the car right there.
All right. How far ahead of you, were you moving in your, were you alone in your car?
Yes, I was alone.
And were you moving when you observed this? Was your
No,
car
when
moving?
Just as the impact occurred, I came to a stop.
But I mean, okay.
Yeah, prior to that, yes, I was moving.
Okay.
Yes.
And how far ahead of you did this collision occur?
That was a given estimate. Maybe 20, 30 feet, maybe.
All right. All right. And could you describe what happened to the cars at the moment, vehicles at the moment? Could you tell me what happened to the vehicles after impact?
Okay, when the truck hit the car crashed into the fence. The car spun out, the car went at an angle, hit my car on the right side and spun out. And the truck was where the truck, was over where the impact occurred. Exactly where the impact occurred, because the truck also hit the fence, knocking over the fence.
Before the impact, did you ever see the truck in the oncoming lane towards you?
No.
All right.
No.
The entire time you saw the truck before the impact, it was in the lanes of your direction? The entire time you saw the truck prior to impact,
It was facing me the entire time. It was facing me. I didn't see the truck actually cross over, but I saw the truck the entire time. When I observed, the truck was facing me.
all right, so when you first saw the truck, it was in, let me get the lanes a little, in your direction, there are 2 lanes, correct?
Right.
Okay, and if I understood you, well, let me just ask it, where was the lady's car at the moment of impact, which lane?
Right lane.
And where was your car at the moment of impact?
Left lane.
All right. And when you first saw the truck, was it in one of those lanes?
The truck was in the right lane when I first saw the truck.
Okay, meaning the same lane as the lady?
Yes.
All right. But heading right towards her?
Right.
Okay. Correct?
Right. Yes, correct.
Okay.
Correct. Yes, correct.
How would you describe the angle at which the truck was traveling in the lady's lane? Was it fully in the lane, or was it still coming across? Anything like
It was
that?
fully in the lane. The truck was in the right lane.
Did you see any evidence of braking or slowing by the truck prior to impact?
No.
What can you tell me about the speed of the truck?
Objection.
I couldn't really tell how fast he was going, but I mean, by impact, by the force he hit the car, by the way he hit the car and the way the car spun out and hit my car, it looked like he was going at a pretty good, speed rate.
What was the condition of the roads at the time?
Well, it was wet snow that day. It was cold and it was like wet snow, so the roads were a little slippery.
Did you ever hear the driver of the truck say anything?
No, no.
What's the condition of the road there? Is it straight, narrow, curved, what?
It's curved. It's curved.
And where in relation to the curve did the collision occur?
Okay, the truck was just coming around the curve, and I was just about to approach the curve. I hadn't arrived there yet. So the truck was coming around the curve, and I guess the car was just advancing past the curve, and that's when I saw the truck hit the car.
The curve for you, when you got to it, would have required you to turn your wheel to the left?
Yeah, I would have had to go there to get around the curve, yes.
The curve for the, assuming the truck came from the opposite direction, the curve for the truck's direction would be turning wheels to the right?
To the right, yeah. He would have had to go to the right.
Okay. I'm looking at my notes here. I don't remember if I asked you this. Did you say you work for the Department of Defense?
Yes.
And how long have you been doing that?
Almost 6 years. It'll be 6 years in August.
Are you familiar with this roadway? Do you travel it often?
Yes, I do.
Why do you, and why is it part of your regular routine or what?
Well, it's the route I go to work,
Okay.
back and forth to work.
And where were you going at the time of this?
I was headed home.
Did you see anyone come to the aid of the woman after the collision?
Yes, actually, there was a lady sitting in the car with her. I mean, a lady, I guess she was in another car, and I guess she observed the accident, and she came and she sat in the car with her until the police arrived. And
Do you have a GS rating with the federal government?
yes, I'm 13.
Okay. Now, when you were subpoenaed for this deposition, we discussed the time that you were going to be missing from work. Is that correct?
Yes.
And do you know how many hours, and I indicated to you that the rules allow me to compensate you for your out-of-pocket and your downtime, but I wanted to make it clear and put it on the record, which is why I'm asking you these questions now.
Yeah, you did. Yes.
What do you know how many hours of your time have been involved or will be involved in appearing for this deposition, and can you tell me if you know what your hourly rate is?
Well, see, I'm paid on a salary.
All right.
I'm not paid an hourly rate.
Okay. Do you know what that salary is, say, per year or month? We can figure it out.
Well,
Gross?
my gross is about $98,000 a year.
Okay. By my calculations on a napkin, that would come to, or a scrap of paper, that would come to approximately $47 an hour. Does that sound about right?
Yeah. Yes.
All right. And it's now 11:26. When did you start? Well, did you go to work today?
No.
Okay. Do you intend to go to work today?
No.
All right. Would 4 hours sound like a reasonable time to
Yeah.
calculate for you being off because of this deposition?
Yes.
All right. If you wanted to, you could go for a half day?
Yes, I could.
Okay. All right. I'm going to pass the baton to Mr. Grant.
Okay.
Good morning, I
morning.
represent Derek Howard in Central Towing. I'm just going to ask you a few more questions.
Okay.
So it won't be very long.
Okay.
You just talked a little bit about the weather that day. What was the weather like?
It was wet snow. It was like snow flurries. Wet snow.
Was it actually snowing when the accident happened?
Yes.
And it was, did you say it was around 11:30 in the morning?
It was around 11:30 in the morning. Yes.
And did you see the driver of the car that was involved in the accident make any moves, either try to slow down or make any moves to avoid the truck before the accident happened?
No, I didn't see that. No.
Did you hear anyone honk their horns?
No. No, I didn't hear anything. No.
Did you see the brake lights go on the car that was involved in the accident?
No.
Did you hear any skidding or anything like that?
No.
And I take it the first time you actually saw the truck that was involved in the accident was pretty much at the time of the impact?
At the time of the impact, yes. It was happening.
Now, after the accident happened, did you get out of your car?
Yes, I did.
What kind of car were you driving?
Camry, a Toyota Camry.
And when you got out of the car, what did you do first?
Well, at first I looked behind me at the lady in the car, you know. Then I looked at the guy, the truck, you know, and
Did you go over to the lady in the car?
no, because there was a lady walked up at the time I got out the car. There was a lady, she walked up to the car and she got in the car with her. Yeah.
Did you go in and talk to the person in the truck?
No, I didn't.
What did you do while you were standing there when you got out of your car?
Well, I just stood there and I was just waiting for the police to arrive.
Did you talk to anybody while you were waiting for the police?
No.
And where were you standing? Were you standing next to your car?
I was standing next to my car.
Where did your car end up?
Okay, really, my car really didn't move. I mean, it was in the same spot where I stopped. As soon as I saw it happening, I stopped. And I braced myself because I knew I was going to get hit.
And was this accident near the intersection with 75th Avenue? Do you know?
No, it was further up. It was further up. It was headed more towards Route 410.
Could you give me some indication of exactly where your car ended up, where it stopped?
Okay, it stopped about maybe 10 to 15 feet away from the gate. Maybe further. It's kind of hard for me to estimate.
When you say the gate, what do you mean by that?
Well, there was a gate where when the truck hit the car, it knocked down the gate.
Now, did you have a cell phone with you at the time?
Yeah.
Did you call the police?
No, I didn't call the police.
Did you take any pictures with your cell phone of the scene of the accident?
No. No, I didn't.
Did you speak with anyone at the scene before the police came? I think I asked you that, but did
No.
you talk to anyone?
I didn't talk to anyone. No.
Did you see other people there who were witnesses to the accident? that you
I
know?
saw people, after the accident, there were a lot of people who congregated around, but I didn't talk to anyone. The only person I talked to was a policeman when he arrived, and he asked me was I okay. I told him I was, and I gave him my driver's license and my registration, and he went back to his car. Then later on, he came back and handed me a card with the case number on there.
And I take it you weren't injured in the accident?
No, I wasn't injured in that. No.
And you said you were 10 or 15 feet from the gate, but which lane were you actually in when your car stopped?
Left lane.
And that was the same lane you were in as you were driving
Yes.
down the street?
Yes. Yeah.
When you got out of the car, did you stay next to your car the whole time?
Yeah. I actually went, I looked and inspected the damage, but I never left the side of my car.
What were the conditions of the roadway where you were?
It was kind of slippery. It was slippery because it was snowing, you know.
Did you ever go to any other areas after the police arrived? Did they make you go to their car? What did you do?
No, I mean, I never went to their car. They took the information from me, they went to their car, and I stood by my car the whole time. I never left my car.
Was your car stopped? How close was your car when it stopped to where the impact initially occurred?
I guess maybe 30 to 50 feet away, I guess.
So it's 30 or 50 feet further down the road?
You see, I was here. As I was coming around, I had gotten to the car. I was just about to go to the curb in the road, that's when I saw the accident, and I just came to complete stop. Because I saw the truck hitting the car, and I just stopped.
And then what happened to your car after you stopped?
Well, after I stopped, when the truck hit the car, the back end of the car came back, and it hit my car on the right side, and then it spun out, and it ended up behind me.
Did your car go any further down the road, or it stopped pretty much at that location?
It stopped at that location. I mean, I didn't move it until, after they cleared everything up, then they told me to move, So they told me it was okay to move. I didn't move.
And when you spoke to the police, did they ask you what happened?
No, they didn't ask me what happened. They just came to me and they asked me, was I okay? And then, they asked me for my driver's license and my registration, and then they took it and they went back to their car. Then they returned and gave me back my license and registration. And then they gave me a card with the case number. They said I can file that with my insurance company.
Did they take any kind of written statement from you at the scene?
Yeah, they asked me to sign a release statement saying that I was okay, that I didn't have any injuries, which I did.
Did they make you sign any statement where you wrote out or someone wrote out what happened?
No.
Yeah, I have no further questions.
I have nothing further. I will turn off the tape at 11:34 a.m. All right, I turned the tape back on at 11:39 a.m. It's my understanding we've talked to you off the record that you want to waive signature.
Yes.
All right, that's good. I appreciate it. Anything else, Mr. Grant?
No.
All right, I'll turn off the tape at 11:39 a.m.